Hey everyone, welcome to the Vegan Stew, and I am Helene, and I am just introducing the show this evening. Laura is our host of our main topic, which is the Vegan Rebuttal, and we couldn't do this week without touching on the whole KFC thing, so that's how we're going to start the show. It may lend into the show. We're going to see where that goes because this is the first week where we all don't agree on a topic. So you want to be involved, please do. You got the comment section to add your questions and concerns, comments, whatever you want to do. But first, let's say thank you to Fabulous for sponsoring Virtual Veg Fest Live and the Vegan Stew this month and all our other shows. And you can win some prize packs by going to virtualvegfest.com, hitting the contest tab. You can win prize packs from, what happened with Sangeeta? We can win prize packs from Familish, Follow Your Heart, Hodo Foods, Revolution Gelato, Terraseed. I'm so terrible. Kimberly's laughing at me because I just can't remember all our sponsors. And I don't know why. We just went over them. So there's 6 of them. They're amazing. Orgain and Crafters Organic, thank you so much for supporting us in 2021. We really appreciate it. But they are just going to do our main events in 2022 instead of the monthly prize packs. But we still have 6 of them. There's new stuff that you can do by going to virtualvegfest.com. And I want to throw a little love at the fact that everyone on the Stew crew has their own stuff going on. Urban Eats, Tilted Planet, Did You Bring the Hummus, Be Kind, and Vegan Street. Everybody has, and you can see mine on the screen, everybody has something going on. So throw love in all those directions because we kind of do this for fun and to help you understand more about veganism. So remember, questions or comments in the little box. Sign up for surprises. Follow along. We're here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, except for the first Wednesday of the month. That's when Coach Kayla goes on. So where are the other weeks? So definitely tune in. Great topics, fun conversation. And I can't wait for the feistiness. I just can't wait. All right, here we go. We have Laura Ball from Plant Powered Studios and Be Kind. We have Kimberly from Did You Bring the Hummus? We have Marla Rose from Vegan Street. We have Dawn, our vegucator from Urban Eats, and we have Sangeeta with her Tilted Planet show on YouTube. And she's back from India, so we're so glad you're back and safely. All right, Marla, let's talk about current events.
I'm scared. I'm not really scared, but okay. So you guys heard the big news this week that AMC Theaters is going to be selling Impossible Nuggets. But it's true, they are. There's theaters in, I don't know, like 40 something odd states. And so from now on, when you go to the movie theater and you want something nuggety, you can go to AMC Theaters. And that is Impossible. The Impossible Nugget, I believe I said. The second bit of news, I forgot. Oh, yes, KFC KFC is a great place to go to the bathroom when you're on a road trip or going forward to possibly, if it is your want to do, to get plant-based nuggets created by Beyond, breaded plant-based nuggets. This is in all of their 400 odd locations, and it is not prepared in a separate fryer. It is none of the dipping sauces are vegan. Some people see it as a win. Some people are very aghast at even discussing it. And with that, maybe we'll have an open conversation about it.
I heard. Yeah, I heard that in some of the stores they're actually making them with the fries, so there wouldn't be cross contamination. Jeremy Loeb, who's over in Asheville, who's one of our musicians, he's an amazing piano player. He said, call the stores because they might actually be making them just with the fries. It depends on the store, because I think that's what he did. So that's not going to alleviate some of what Dawn feels, but it's a little piece.
I worked at KFC in college, just to let you guys know. So I have actual experience at KFC. That was 20 years ago, but I did work at Kentucky Fried Chicken. I'm ashamed and embarrassed to say it, but I did. It's a part of my experience in life. And I'm going to tell you what I think about that. Go ahead. The fry station and chicken station is no different at KFC. They lie to you. If you talk on the phone to somebody that said that to you, there's no fryer station that's separate there's like 10 fryer stations back in the day, and they all were used for chicken. There is not a dedicated fry station for frying. There isn't. But go ahead. Sorry.
I do have a question, Don, and I would love everyone's feedback. If there were a dedicated fryer for the Beyond, let's just say that they created it with this separate fryer, and never the twain shall meet. What would your thoughts be on it then? Still,
okay.
Yeah.
My opinion. So the reason I wouldn't be so aghast is because they respect what we're trying to do as vegans. They may not be trying to, but I wouldn't be arguing. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be offended if they did that, because at least you're showing me courtesy. You're showing some respect and courtesy, at least to the idea of your profiteering. You're profiteering. You're at least you're showing, hey, you understand, you're really after our money, because you get $4.7 billion of money anyway. I wouldn't shop there, because they kill 750 million chickens a year, 2 million chickens a freaking day. They kill 2 million chickens a day by themselves as a company. I wouldn't give them a dime, but I wouldn't be coming against them for those. I would be protesting them for the 2 million chickens. I wouldn't even be talking about what they're doing over there. I wouldn't be mad. I'd be like, okay, what they're doing. At least Burger King has put in their business plan 50% reduction in menu items that are animal based by 2030. These people have said at KFC, I don't respect you, I don't care about you, and I'm still going to kill my chickens. We're still going to kill 750 million chickens a year. We don't care if you like it. You come get our chicken, give us about another $1 billion this year, and we're still going to kill 750 million and 50 million chickens, 2 million a day, 14 million a week. And we're going to still get your support as you cheer on the sidelines. Yay, thank you. You've done nothing for us. You didn't save a chicken, and you didn't stop killing a chicken. You took our money, and we're supporting that. Why do we co-sign madness? I don't understand the vegan community. Go ahead, Laura.
Laura.
Yeah, so there's like 3 different perspectives I have. The good news about this, number one, it means that flexitarians are on the rise, where they are switching out that one meal. So Mr. and Mrs. Smith that already have ridiculously high cholesterol are at least buying a plant-based fried chicken or a nugget instead of an animal. So if it saves an animal's life, all for it. However, the one thing that upsets me personally is that they're labeling this vegan. This is not vegan, because it is fried and animal fat. So that bothers me that they put that vegan name in front of it, because it's not. The minute it hits that fryer, it's no longer vegan. So that's my second thing. And really, to be 100% vegan, it's not just about what's in it, it's about the company itself.
Right.
And that's what also irritates me, is I don't want to give my money towards a company that not only slaughters that many animals, but they're known for their cruelty. And they're known for just having awful factory farming. So I'm not going to support that. And a real vegan shouldn't either. And so that's kind of the thing. It depends on what level of vegan you are. You got your baby vegan, your platinum star vegan. All of us are kind of up here. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to support that company. I would rather support 100% vegan company that has its own fried chicken. That to me feels better. And that's my 2 cents.
Okay,
the liquid, but I just say this real quick. The liquid, the collective flexitarians are gonna, if they have horrible health already, it's not gonna be helpful to them to be eating liquid grease fat. lard, not lard, but whatever kind of thing. Oil is not good. It's not a health. Oil is not a food, not a health food. And fried anything is bad for people that have heart disease. So if we're talking about nutritive things, as you led to, Laura, it's not healthy. But if they, and of course they're cruel to animals and they're murderers, and we're supporting them. Murderers. The other people are murderers too, but at least they're trying to make accommodations. Slaughterers, murderers, and I'm usually on the nutritive side very heavily, but because they're offending me, they think we're ignorant. You're lucky. Y'all go take a brick and throw it in the window. I'm mad because you think we're stupid. We have $162 billion of buying power, us vegans. That's in the next decade. That's what they anticipate from us. And you're playing games with us. You're playing. You think we don't have power? We should stop. We should say we don't want your nuggets. Separate the fryer. We have power. Go to the. Don't celebrate when we're at the 10-yard line. Where the goal line is down there. Why are we stopping? As I said to my friends in this group, if you all were in the freedom movement, and I would still be in the black only side of the bus, because you all would have been happy for me to sit on the bus and not walk to work. We need to be a movement of radical people who are trying to save planet, lives, animals, and the economy. This is what needs to be happening. But we're out here celebrating BS.
Right. I think it's Helene, and then Sangeeta, and then Kimberly.
Where do we even start? Where that's a really good question. Where does it start? Because it's change, and change starts typically small and then grows hopefully to be larger. And if we implore the vegan community to not support this, then will it ever change to the point where 50% of the menu is plant-based? I don't know the answer to that, but I do know that last week Chipotle came out with a vegan chorizo and nobody blinked and everybody supported and nobody said any crap about it. KFC comes out with, because last time I checked, Chipotle has animal products on their menu.
No, but they don't. But no, that's not the same thing. Don't do false equivalency. Helene, go ahead. That's not the same thing. This is apples and kumquats you're doing. That's not
apples
the same
and
thing.
It's animals and animals. I mean,
It's not apples to apples. It's not apples to apples. KFC kills 750 million chickens. They have
I don't know the stats for Chipotle, but they have chicken, pork, beef.
They don't kill but they have vegan options. You can go in there and get a black bean wrap.
But that's
I can't go to KFC and get anything.
Okay, right. But now you can, right? Because the other point
that's not vegan.
Well, all right. Does anyone here not eat? Okay, opposite question. Does anyone here only eat at vegan restaurants? 100%, all the time. Do you only purchase food at a vegan supermarket?
I'm a vegan business owner.
Totally get it.
And I totally support us putting them. We're all vegan business owners. Here's where they're messing with us as vegans. We should be putting us first. You know, in the Asian community, the dollar travels like 15 times before it leaves the community. African American community is half a time. The vegan community, we don't even keep stats. We should be supporting vegan businesses with our dollar circulating significantly within our community first. If they have vegan, and we can't compare a grocery store.
Scissors are
don't do that. There's another false equivalency. Yeah, because you want to cut.
But we do. So that's just it. Just because some of these vegans went out and tried these nuggets doesn't mean that they don't support vegan businesses first and that they don't put their money towards vegan business. They do. I promise you, they all do. Because I see the people doing it.
They're calling people the purity police. They're out there eating non-vegan nuggets and out there. But if they're out there talking about, you're the purity police. No, you're not vegan out there eating fake vegan nuggets from KFC who kills more chickens than anybody in the United States. Don't tell me about Chipotle gives me black bean with brown rice.
Yeah, but Chipotle also has barbacoa and has chicken, beef, and pork on their menu.
Guess what they've done? Guess what KFC has done? They give me the bird, and you know what they said? Take these nuggets and I'll fry them in the chicken grease that you all love so much, and you all are going to come spend your money with us because guess what? You're so happy that we're putting it on the menu. We're going to get some more revenue share from you guys, and we don't even have to work for it. All we have to do is put it on the menu. And look at you guys at Veg News, PETA, and all this Live Kindly, bunch of crazy. Now we look crazy. You're diluting the vegan brand. We are a brand. We are powerful. You're diluting us.
Wait. Pause.
It's so funny. I mean, it's so funny because we just had a conversation about time.
Well, I'm fired up. I told you I'm gonna come on.
We know. I just want to make sure that it's that I'm heard in the fact that I personally don't see myself going to KFC unless I'm on a road trip, and that's what's there. And with COVID, it makes it even harder to get food because we won't go inside to get food at this point. We won't go inside to eat. So it's an option that is potentially there if we need it.
It's not vegan.
That's just it. If I go to an omnivorous restaurant and I order food, then all that food's not vegan either. Because there's definitely cross-contamination.
But it's not. But you're not ordering.
But it's a kitchen, Dawn, and you know how a kitchen works.
All right, I gotta jump in here because it's becoming unfair to Sangeeta and Kimberly.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, and I first of all,
right? No, hear you. Thank you, Marla. I was just I just want to finish.
Okay, so can I go?
Go ahead, Sangeeta.
Wait. Helene is finishing her thought, then Sangeeta, then Kimberly.
All right,
right?
That's fine. Okay. No, it's just I it's not my personal thing that I would do. It doesn't mean that it would never happen, but I also have a hard time wanting to give any fast food restaurant, whether it be McDonald's, Burger King, KFC. I don't include Chipotle in that, and I don't know why. Maybe because I didn't grow up, they weren't all meat all the time. Maybe that's what Dawn is saying, is they've always had options that are plant-based, and you can see them make the food in front of you, and you can change gloves, and you can do what you need to do to get your food. But it is still fast food, just I guess a little unhealthier. I just don't feel comfortable putting my money there, but I don't have a problem with the people that are. Because I do believe in business. I do believe in the money, that the potential money that could be made from this could go towards them putting more options on their menu and going to separate fryers and doing what needs to be done. Can we start a petition that says separate the fryers? Do the fries and the vegan nuggets in the same thing, and eliminate that? Because what I've read, Dawn, is that exists, that they do certain fryers for some things and certain for others. And the restaurants in 20 years have definitely changed because, they're combined with other things now, even sometimes. But I don't know because I've never worked in one. But I feel like, I don't lean towards, your points are incredibly valid and really moving, because those chickens, it just makes me extremely, it's upsetting. It's just upsetting, the whole thing. But I also am realistic, and I live in a world where I don't shop at 100% vegan places for anything that I have in my life. So I understand. I don't, if that's the definition of vegan, then none of us are. Sangeeta, go ahead.
That's not
okay. Okay, so here's my 2 cents. I am neither going to oppose nor going to support. All the arguments I have heard are all valid in their place. One thing we need to understand is why people eat what they eat. Number one reason is they eat something because it is there. Number two is they eat something because everyone else is eating it. And if we are not, I think that it's a plus that vegan food is in the door now. It is everywhere, exactly where people are buying their food. And unless that happens, we have no chance. If people have to go to this section in Whole Foods or to a all vegan restaurant, good luck with spreading our movement. It's not going to happen. It's going to be a small vegan club. So that's my 2 cents, and I will stop.
Thank you, Sangeeta. Kimberly.
So when I think about this, I think about the times where I've been at a vegan restaurant and with a person who was not vegan, and they tried the food and they said, wow, if all vegan food tastes like this, maybe I could do that. And I think that maybe if someone is already going to places like KFC, and now there's an option, like Sangeeta said, the food is showing up in places they already go, and they don't have to go to weird places. Like, I remember the first time I walked into a health food store, and it had like a couple of vegetables and like tons of supplements and just smelled like patchouli. And like, if you're walking into like a weird place where nothing feels familiar to you, you're probably not going to try to expand your horizons, right?
Yeah.
But if you're in a place where you're like, well, I always order from here, and they've got this new thing and it's kind of a big deal, I've seen it everywhere, I met this one vegan once, I wonder if these are any good. And then if they try it and they like it, now maybe next time they don't go to KFC. Maybe they go to Chipotle. And then they go to Chipotle and they try the Sofritas bowl. And they're like, okay, that was pretty good too. And then maybe they start looking at, what are the vegan options at the grocery store I already go to? Or is there a vegan restaurant near me? They start to really like kind of expand their horizons maybe. And that's where I think this is important. So I totally get, Dawn, and I feel you with all the chickens, and that they haven't said like, we're adding this so we can take something away, or so we can stop slaughtering so many chickens. Like, their plan is to add this on top of everything else they're already doing. And that feels gross from our side, right? But it feels maybe comfortable for a meat eater who's going in there, and maybe they'd be willing to try it. So that's why I think it's important that these places like KFC start adding these things. I don't think it's for us necessarily, except maybe if we're on a road trip and we don't have any snacks in the car, and that's the only place within miles or whatever. But maybe it's for them, and maybe it will start expanding.
And that's what John is saying in the comment, that we vegans are not the audience. Yeah.
And that I agree with.
The president of the company said it's for us. They're already selling $4.7 billion of getting in revenues to the people that don't eat meat. To the people that, the people that they're not trying to convert them. They're adding a product line. You just said that. So I understand it being at the restaurant. What I don't like, very specifically, is that they are not respecting veganism. Can you take the fryer and just be by yourself over there? You have 10 fryers in there, 12. And you're not doing that because you don't have to, because we're already celebrating in the end zone like it's Super Bowl, and we're not even in the game. This game has just started. Why are we so easily acquiescing to this level right now? If we're already that powerful, why have we not pushed the envelope? You're going to drive up there giving some money, so they're going to make a ton of money at the beginning. And you think it's going to be a bunch of non-vegans? No, it's going to be us. Yay, the purity police are crazy. Let's not deal with them. I understand what you're saying about the vegan options, Sangeeta, and what you're saying about having that. I didn't, and let me correct. I've gone to non-vegan options restaurants that have vegan options. My point is very specifically this: you're distant. You're not respecting what we're supposed to be respecting, and we're not respecting it. What we're showing them is that we acquiesce very easily to whatever you'll put on the table. It's like crumbs on the table in civil rights. Okay, we can't vote yet, but you'll let us fill out the 100-page application and make that state ridiculous test. No, let's go all the way. But let's stop playing these games. You don't have to go and have a vegan restaurant, KFC, but you can't play these games with us and put your fryer dip and put dead chickens in it and think I'm going to give you a dime. Screw you, KFC.
Yeah. All right, Marla, then Celine, and then I'll add something. I think Sangeeta was in there somewhere too. I think I saw a little fork going up.
I was just doing our sample
This
for how
might
much
just
time.
be the topic tonight, ladies, because we're getting some good views, and this is so hot right now. I've had so many conversations about this. So I think this is good. I think we should. I think we should, because this is a very big and important topic.
Right.
And I just want to say this quickly in response to Dawn, and then Marla, feel free. I just want to point out too, to Dawn's point, how angry were we that Sweet Earth got bought out by Nestle? How angry were we that No Evil Foods let their employees go all shitty? But yet we're going to give our money to a company that slaughters and factory farms chicken and call it vegan, and we're supposed to be happy about that? Again, this is not for vegans. This is for, Mr. and Mrs. Smith that regularly go to KFC, and maybe they won't slaughter a chicken that day. That's how I see it. And that's great, but it's not for us. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what pisses me off about them even labeling it vegan. But please,
there
Sangeeta, whoever.
There is other clientele, those who are normally vegan, but they don't those who are normally meat eaters, but they don't eat meat when they are out. For example, some Jewish people who only eat kosher.
Right.
Some Muslim people who only eat meat if it is halal. And KFC, I'm sure they have done their research and they have decided that this vegan community is not going to climb up the steps of KFC. They've done their research. And raise your hand if you will go eat that. Whatever they have, they calling it vegan. None of us will go. They know that.
Mm-hmm. I wish, Sangeeta, that were true. That is so wonderful. That is not true. There's so many vegans right now on social media, Sangeeta, saying, yeah, let's go. You have PETA, you have Lynn Kindly, you have Veg News. You have PETA saying, hey, don't complain to the people about the cross-contamination in the dead juices of the animals floating in your meat that we wanted to bend at the vigil. Don't say anything about that. There are tons of vegans going to the place right now, and they target marketed us because we have the lion's share of money, or else they wouldn't have put it up. They're already making $4.7 billion a year. They don't need they want our money. They don't care. Those other people that are flexitarians or playing around, they already have them as regular customers. Mm-hmm. And Jewish people don't eat at KFC. There's no kosher chicken there.
That's what I'm saying. That's who they're trying to get.
Mm-hmm. They're not going to get a Jewish person. They don't have a kosher section in the store. No real. I'm not Jewish, but I have a lot of Jewish friends, and Jewish people aren't flocking to KFC. They don't have kosher chicken. They don't do a kosher prayer. They don't do the water and have a prayer rabbi. They don't have no chicken over there. Woo.
Marla, go ahead. Yep. You can address that.
Well, I'm not kosher. I am Jewish, but, right. But okay. So my thoughts are, varied and complicated, but I'm going to try to keep it really succinct. One is we can support that there are these products for omnivores who want to, explore them. I don't ever feel comfortable doing the advertising for a giant slaughtering conglomerate, they don't need my support and I'm not there to give it, I do feel it is absolutely pointless to be screaming at other vegans about the lack of, here's my thought is vegans are perhaps 2% of the population in the United States, maybe 2.5%. We are not on their radar. We're on their radar in the sense that they don't want us protesting them. It's true, Don. They have very smart people who are crunching the numbers and looking at the demographics. They're adding to their portfolio like a lot of other industries and a lot of other businesses are adding to their portfolio. We're just not part of their worldview. They know that even if they did have dedicated buyers, there is a sizable percentage of us who would never support them anyway, for myriad reasons, one of which is just that they're a horrible company, or a horrid company. My whole thing is I'm happy for the people who would be eating dead birds to eat that instead.
Yep.
That's basically the long and short of it. So, but the thing is that what this shows, it doesn't affect the birds of today, tomorrow, even next year. What it does show, though, is long-term change, long-term shifting. And so I think that we can't put the bike in front of the rider. I just made it up on the fly. And know that this is what it is reflecting. They don't, and I'm not saying this to be flippant, They don't give a shit about us. Like, honestly, they don't. They don't.
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's obvious they do.
About vegans. They don't care
It's
about
obvious they do. It's obvious they do. That's why McPlant. That's why McDonald's has a McPlant. That's why Burger King did Impossible Burger.
But
That's
they're not
why
called
BK.
Well,
No,
and
it's
I
not.
don't think
You're
they
missing
care
it.
about
No,
us.
no,
I
no,
think
no.
they want
care about
what's
money.
associated
It's
with the
money.
name
It's
vegan.
money.
It's money.
Yes, they want
Well,
the
that's
name.
what I think we're all saying that it's about
Yeah.
money. But
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
about
They
the
want to
vegan
profit off of branding something vegan or plant-based,
plant-based.
right? That's what it
Profiteering,
is.
and they.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I agree.
the vegans who are promoting them, they're influencer. They,
Yep.
they're making their own money, or they're not necessarily going to support it themselves.
I don't
Yes.
consider people that promote this vegan. And if I know anybody who's out there promoting it and they say they're vegan and they have actually eaten this crap, this madness, they're not vegan to me. But it doesn't matter what I think about them. It only matters what they think about them. But this is what confuses people that are trying to come into this movement. People are confused by what vegans are supporting and what they're not. There are too many silos. I just did a thing with somebody a few months ago. There's this ethical vegan, and then you're the environmental vegan, and you're the health vegan, and I'm the Black Power vegan. And what the hell are we? We're too many.
Yes.
We're supposed to really about help. If I help people to not die of heart disease, I've also saved some cows. I've also saved some chickens. I've also saved some a carbon footprint getting smaller. And so it really should be about that. But veganism gets so excited as a community about things that don't matter. We should be concerned about how 1 pound of beef takes 200 square feet of the Amazon rainforest. But we're talking, and the people are dying at 7 million, millions a year of, 700,000 a year of heart disease. And animals are dying at the billions. But we're excited about these stupid people. These BK and this other, who are these people? Not people, company. When I say people, I mean company. We're excited. They're not doing us a favor. They're getting some money. It's profiteering, and it's okay.
Yep.
It's
We don't
capitalism.
disagree.
Okay, Sangeeta.
Yeah, that actually, now that you said that, it actually gives me a talking point, because I have a lot of family. We all grew up as vegetarian, and they all became meat eater. A lot of them became meat eaters, and the KFC, they want to be Western ideals, and said so westernized. So they like KFC, and they show off when they go to KFC. And so this is actually a talking point for me now that you said that. I wasn't going to post it on my wall, but I might now, saying, look, the vegan argument is, if you eat this vegan, whatever chicken they're saying, instead of the real chicken, you will save these many animals, you will save this much of forest. I might actually post it.
We've got to get a unified message, man. Our community is so confused. I have a hard time explaining to people what vegan, so I just do the plant-based. So I just say for your health, because that's how I came in. But my intention, I don't have leather seats. Remember we talked about tires? I bought a car intentionally with fabric seats. I don't wear leather. I don't buy anything that hurts animals that I'm aware of, and I don't even buy makeup products to do that. I'm super picky. Everybody's not going to do that. But don't we need to have some kind of idea as a unified group about at least the protection of animals? And if so, how are we protecting animals, defending the biggest slaughterer of animals in the United States now?
And here's the bigger conversation, to Susan's point, and we're starting to see this, and I've seen it be a growing trend, is these bigger brands like Nestle, Tyson, whatever, are buying up these wonderful, small, vegan, plant-based brands. And so where do we draw that line in the land?
Great point.
Become vegan? When do you say, no, I'm not going to support this company? Because unfortunately, that's capitalism, and that's profit. And that's, to Susan's point, the bottom line is that's going to happen. All of these big companies, too big to fail, are going to buy these smaller companies that are. And so what do we do? I mean, that's a really good point, Susan. Love Miss Francis.
Thank you.
But
Yes,
yeah, that's Helene, what are your thoughts on that?
Go ahead, Helene.
There's just too many thoughts. It's hard. You're talking to someone who went to Sprouts, and I was online and a person in front of me had vegan sausages in like a package that I'd never seen before. And I was like, "What is that?" And they were like, "Oh, it's over in like the corner over there, which happens to be the meat section in Sprouts." And I was like, "But that's vegan." And I was like, "What is that?" And it was the plant-based meat, the vegan meat made by Smithfield.
Mm-hmm.
And I stood in front of it when I realized it was Smithfield, second largest producer of pigs in the country, 2.5 hours from my house, where more pigs live in North Carolina. They get slaughtered than anywhere else in the state, let alone, like I said, second largest in the country. And I stood there and was like, do I want to give them money? Because
Mm-hmm.
they created this vegan product. They kill pigs. They kill pigs right by my house. I did buy it. Was it my favorite product in the whole world? No. Do I want the money to go towards them possibly doing less pig slaughtering and more vegan? How do they know that if I don't spend the money on the product?
Mm-hmm.
How do they know? They don't know. I have to purchase it. I have to put my spending power behind. Put your money towards this so you'll kill less of this so that you'll realize that there's a need for it. Because if you don't realize there's a need, then you're just going to kill more pigs. Because I mean, it's a slow moving wheel. It's very slow, but it's clearly picking up speed because there's so many companies that are doing that. And I going back to what T Tao Tao posted. Are they cooking this in tallow? The KFC
I'm
nuggets?
sorry, I didn't hear you. What did you say?
Are they
Are they
cooking? Are
cooking
they
this in
cooking
what?
it in tallow? Are they cooking it in oil? Are they cooking it in
Oil.
animal fat?
Oil.
Oil, I think they use canola and
I mean, not
hydrogenated
good.
soybean
This
oil.
okay, so it's not animal. It's not lard. I mean,
It's
that would
they used
be
to do in the 70s. They did in the 70s. They used to do that, but and I understand
okay.
they do hydrogenated soybean oil and canola. I looked it up because I was hot. I don't even care about their company.
Oh,
I was hot.
I'm sure because I mean, lard.
I
Everybody
looked
in
it
the
up.
'70s cooked with lard. I don't think there was what there
Yeah,
were
I
Yeah.
guess that was what
Twinkies.
people
Twinkies
did.
were made with lard in the '70s, so it,
So
it's
here's
it's
a fun point. Okay, so I'm going to quote Jane Unchained. This is what she posted on her Facebook, which I can resonate with as well. I see all points to all of this. Unchained TV is going today to try them, and I will taste them. If we can save billions of animals, I am not going to freaking quibble about some oil cross contamination. The world is dying, people. Let's do this. And she does have a point, only to the fact, not towards vegans, let's say. And here's the thing. I'm not gonna be a jerk to some vegan. If you're trying, and however you choose to do it is your path, right? That's number one. Me personally, as a vegan, I'm not gonna try it. But I think at least we can all agree the planet is dying. And so every opportunity that the planet has for somebody to switch out meat with something that is, let's say, plant-based, because I agree it is not vegan because of the oil factor. Isn't that a good thing? I think yes. And to your point, Helene, with Smithfield, that's in the meat section. What if somebody who normally picks up meat picks that up instead and doesn't realize the difference until they've taken it home? They're like, well, you know what? I'm going to try it. That one meal makes a difference. And that is true.
Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, that's okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
breathe.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just breathe.
Go ahead.
I was like,
Okay.
So,
It's
it's like Sagittarius over there, Helene. I'm like so many thoughts. Like thoughts are just raining down.
Yeah.
So this, I agree on the point of companies, of course, are trending that way. That of course, large companies are trending that way. We have to see there needs to be a vegan agenda, and just like everything else, we should, it needs to evolve with where the trend, where the movement is going. Every group should have some kind of 10-point plan or some kind of agenda that is firm, so that our messaging can be similar. I don't know. The vegan community is all over the place. I mean, and then we're kind, so we don't want to say anything to the other vegans, but then they're killing 2 million, vegans we get feisty now. Look at Marla's eyes. Look at Marla. Look at Marla.
You guys just got kicked out of a group.
No.
What do you mean you don't say anything to
I
other
don't care.
vegans?
No, by and large, no, to other people. We don't, so like in the vegan community, there's this thing about being kind, or we're not going to, it's okay if vegans do it, but they're not targeting us. Here's the major point. They can make whatever they want to make. McPlant, if you want to support McPlant and all that stuff, their respect. We need to have some standards. We have no standards. Oh, if they make it plant-based, they're really not making it for us, but we'll try it. And guess what? It doesn't have, it's vegan-like. It's vegan-ish. So it's okay because it's really not for us, but we're going to taste it. So we're going to taste, we defend chickens and cows, and we're going to eat their juices, their dead, slaughtered juices, and we're going to say that's for the benefit of the vegan movement. What? I don't want to be a part of this movement. If this is the kind of movement, if this is the kind of movement we have, make me another movement, and I'll be happy to. I want a movement that's really about, and I don't care about the palate. I'm a chef, and I don't care about the taste. I don't care if it's if I eat kale every day of my life. I'm not gonna give a dime to something you cross-contaminated. I can respect the McPlant people because at least they're trying to be kind to my goal. My goal is not to bring harm or participate in your harming.
Right.
So
okay, Marla then Sangeeta, because we're getting close to cutting it here soon.
I was just going to say that while I very much hear your frustration, Dawn, and understand it, I do think that it's kind of unrealistic to think that we're going to be in, agreement on many major issues. And like one of the things that I found are people who I used to admire, maybe are, COVID deniers who are vegans, there may be people who are sexual predators. There may be people who are sexist. So the point that I'm making is just that there are a lot of, I'm never going to be in lockstep with a lot of not only individuals, but organizations that I have issues with. So I just think it's, I don't mean to sound condescending, but I think it's unrealistic to expect that we're ever going to find this like utopian agreement that this is who we are and this is what we stand for. I just don't think it's going to happen.
I don't always agree with the Democratic Party, but I vote Democrat. Why? Because the overall agenda fits my point of view. But I don't need to always agree. But one thing I do need vegans agreement on is whether or not you're going to put dead animal flesh on my plate through the juices or whatever way you want to do it. If you're going to do that, I'm going to choose not to support you. That's my baseline. That's not even my high bar. That's my low bar. So the vegans don't have where is the low bar? Are we down on the ground doing the cha-cha? Where are we? Were we scraping the ground trying to get under the thing? You know how they do the thing?
Well, and and here's my thing too, I'll add, and I'm going to go to Sangeeta, is who sets these vegan standards? That's what always, who's the one setting these standards? Is there like a vegan Wizard of Oz behind a curtain that's going to be doing all of this? That's what I want to know too. Who draws the line? Who makes the rules? And I think that's what's cool about veganism is that everybody has their own journey. And I think if we all have, like you said, I'm Democrat, but I don't always agree with everything the Democrats do. I'm still going to vote that way. I think we all in turn need to show a little bit of compassion for people that are on their own journey. I can talk about my opinions and my personal beliefs, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to put someone else down because of what they choose to do and what their journey is. And I think that's the part of this KFC thing I don't like. Is that's what it's doing. And that bothers me. That part does bother me. But Sangeeta, please go.
Yeah, so
throw that in there.
One of my longtime vegan friends recently became pescatarian because she craved salmon. And I have met people over and over saying, I tried it, I craved meat, I craved bacon and things like that. And I don't know if we have any statistics of how many people are ex-vegan versus how many people are actually vegan. I don't know the ratio of that, but I tend to believe that there are more ex-vegans than there are vegans on the planet. And if we want to change that, we need to have them these options that, okay, they're not 100, okay, it's fried in something that wasn't vegan, but at least that itself is a plant-based thing. And if that's what keeps them on the bandwagon, then I am for it.
Yeah. Kimberly, what do you have to say?
Well, I'm going to go back just a smidge And when
Were you
Dawn,
taking
when
minutes?
yeah, I do make notes as we talk, just in case.
I love
I don't
that.
want to forget. So when Dawn mentioned about, like the PETA, that post, I think it was PETA UK, right? Like, don't make a big stink about the cross contamination in the oil. And then separately, we had quickly talked about, I brought up the fact that Veg News saw that Cardi B posted, like, how do I go vegan? And instead of Veg News either writing an open letter to Cardi with, like, here's some options, here are some tips, and they highlighted the fact that Drew Barrymore, who is not vegetarian, let alone vegan, and was promoting vegetarian, not vegan products. And they're all like, isn't this so great? Look at Drew Barrymore helping out Cardi B. It's like, Cardi B doesn't need Drew Barrymore. We don't need Drew Barrymore. We
Nobody
need
does.
places like Veg News to actually, do what they're preaching and be like, here are vegan options. This is how you do it. And it was just like PETA way back, I don't know, early 2000s, late 90s, whenever it was, where they were like, oh, sexiest vegetarian on the planet is Ozzy Osbourne. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, no, I don't think so. And then, like, he's got that show and he's like kicking his dogs. They were not even vegetarian, let alone vegan. And then my second point, where Laura, where you said who draws the line, for me, I use that definition of the word vegan, just like Susan posted part of that. That's where I go back to. You want to be a guest on Did You Bring the Hummus? You live in alignment with that definition. If you are a vegan who sometimes eats animals, you're not coming on Did You Bring the Hummus? Are you plant-based? So you still buy all kinds of beauty products tested on animals, you buy new leather shoes, you're not coming on Did You Bring the Hummus? Because you're not in alignment with what I believe veganism really is.
Helene.
That's great.
Your rebuttal.
It's not, no, definitely not a rebuttal.
I'm just joking. It was just fun because that's what today was supposed to be.
The host is getting to her head. No, sorry.
Where is the topic?
Yeah,
right. I know. Well, actually, it kind of fits. So
it does, right?
I want to go back to the fact that you brought up No Evil Foods, because I know them personally, and at the expo in New York City, I actually ran into Sadra, and I was really glad that I did, because obviously I've heard and seen all that's gone on with the drama, because now we're talking about a vegan company, an ethically vegan company, and that has been trashed. Being trashed and destroyed.
Well,
And
they were unethical to their employees, though.
But they weren't. That's just it. They were some disgruntled employees that blew it up. And
so
that's
they didn't
what
fire
happens.
30 people in a room at one time? That was a lie?
I didn't go deeply into, like, I was at an expo, but I talked to them about, like, what was going on. And she was like, and I get it, because all of us should get that if people want to bring you down and target you, they can. So some disgruntled people went onto social media and started saying what they were saying. And she was like, it was so blown out of proportion, they couldn't even respond. And you know what? There comes a point where when you do respond, and that's what she said, anything that we said just got turned around to be the opposite of what we meant. We couldn't respond. We did respond. When we did respond, it got even worse, which I understand, because you have to stand up for yourself, but at the same time, when you do, sometimes you make it worse and sometimes you make it better. But I know them personally, and I was shocked by what I was reading. I'm going to tell you, I believe that they did not do all the things that have been put out there, that disgruntled people decided they wanted to take them down, and vegans took down vegans. And that's a problem. That is a problem we have brought on here many, many times, is that
I am going to disagree with that. I read multiple articles about what happened, and
I know you did.
And that's a corporation side of it.
That's you've read about them.
Right. But really 30 people saying the same thing, there's got to be some sort of truth to that. And I hope, I'm not saying I'll never buy from them again. I hope that they learn that lesson. Start to do the thing towards their people, because veganism is not just about being ethical with animals, but also with people. At least in my journey. Right. And so And there's also like a huge labor movement going on. And that was really bad timing. And from what I read is they had multiple disgruntled employees that already sued them before they even put multiple people in a room and told them they were all let go because they went to a co-packer. So that being said, everybody has an opportunity to change. And I hope that they make the right change. But from what I read from multiple media outlets, that was not the case with what they did here. But I really hope that they're changing that for future. I do, because I love their brand.
I hear you, and thankfully I was able to go directly to the source, and I understand what they're going through, because we do that as people, as humans, and vegans do that towards other vegans. No one can get too high up. No one can be too successful in this world without someone going and shitting on them and knocking them down as far as they can. And if somebody gets disgruntled with you, they are going to just go and figure out how they can take you down. And it's the worst and most insidious things that we can do as human beings. And we do it. And the vegan community is especially good at it, because we tend to look at people and go, what are you doing wrong? As opposed to what are you doing right? And this kind of comes together in this scenario of, I don't want to shit and poo poo on people that are going and doing this KFC thing. But I mean, obviously, I haven't run. I went and got Chipotle, but I did not run and get KFC for multiples of reasons. It's way less healthy than what Chipotle has come out with. Like, way more like horrible for you with deep fried, and it just And I mean, I eat in restaurants where I know things are fried. I know they're fried in a shared fryer, but I don't not eat at that restaurant. So I do have an out of sight, out of mind mentality when I eat in an omnivorous restaurant. I order vegan stuff. I do have that. But if I see it, I won't eat it. So if I see the issue, I won't eat it. But if I want to eat, you don't always have a vegan restaurant choice.
Right. That is true. That is true.
Yep.
Done.
Okay. Just real quick, I'll do 1 minute. So the ex-vegans thing, I put it down so I would be not all over the place. The ex-vegans that Sangeeta mentioned, the ex-vegans, I think the reason that my experience of being an educator out in the community, in the grassroots community, what I hear is that there's no education. They're miseducated. So they can novelty try whatever they want to try. But the reason we lose them is because we don't grab them up and educate them on why it's good for them, what their why is. They don't have a why. And if you don't have a why, you're not going to stay. I don't care how many places they put plant-based stuff. It's going to be a novelty. That's one. Two, on the Democratic thing, the reason I vote Democrat is because there's a baseline agenda that I agree with. A base agenda that I agree with. And I agree with that. Not because they have no agenda. The vegans talking about they love animals and want to help the animals and they don't bring harm. You're harming the animals by to me, this is not vegan. Once they dip it into the grease of the dead chicken, slaughtered, murdered chicken, it's not vegan anymore. So I have no business touching it. And the vegans, this thing about what we do wrong to other vegans, we should hold other people accountable because we're all supposed to have some kind of a message. And there is no Wizard of Oz, of course. Yeah, but why don't we have an agenda? This idea of not having an agenda, every successful movement, civil rights, you can name it. Even the Boston Tea Party, everything had a movement, had a plan.
Do you know what else I had?
Plan.
Compassion.
The Boston Tea Party, but having compassion doesn't mean you can't tell the truth. It's not
but it does mean that you can still be kind about it. And that's what bothers me.
I was called the purity police. I've been called names. I've been called all kind of names by vegans, but I don't go on there bashing them. I did was say, this is craziness. That doesn't mean we're crazy. This is craziness. We have so much, the planet is dying. Animals are dying. Black people are getting shot up and killed. People of color are getting and living in food deserts, food insecure, and we're over here having a party for KFC, thanking them for frying up some chicken, the chicken grease, frying up some vegan chicken from the chicken grease. And Beyond Meat should have some kind of standards. Beyond, they shouldn't sell food to companies that are going to bastardize their product. Where's their
Beyond wasn't made for vegans. Beyond was made for the omnivorous people. They were made for those products.
I'm sorry. Beyond is a plant-based company. It's 100% plant-based company. And they should. I didn't say that I work there and that I'm telling them what to do. This is my opinion. All this is
Right.
opinion. If I am an investor in that company and I have market share a lot, if I have a shareholder, I would say, don't we not have any standards about who we sell to and what they do with the product? Because if I make a shirt and then you tear a hole in it and put some lamb wool right here, you messed up my product. You're bastardizing my brand. I didn't tell you to go. I'm a vegan company. What are you doing? If I make a soy chorizo chili and then you put in some ground beef and then you say Urban Eats made it, what have you just done to my brand? So I'm saying from a brand perspective, there's a larger look. To me, that accountability, that's all I'd say. The Beyond and these Impossible people should have in their mind, if they're really ethically vegan companies, and they may not be. If they're, but
They're not.
and that's their decision. But I'm saying to you, I'm done. Crazy. I'm gonna be quiet the rest of the 4 minutes.
No, you're
Yeah.
not. So
I
they're not vegan companies. Vegan and Beyond and Impossible are,
And I
are
have
not vegan
stocks.
companies.
I have their stock and it's doing well.
Yes.
Well, Impossible, they tested on rats, so they've never been vegan.
Yeah,
They attacked rats. They killed rats. Vegan. I don't even buy Impossible products for that reason, by the way.
I was just going to say, first of all, that Beyond does identify themselves as a vegan company. Impossible does not. Beyond, they are answerable to their stockholders, to getting their product in as many. I don't think they really care all that much about. Like, if they did, they would say, if I'm working with you, KFC, you have to have dedicated fryers. It just is not happening. But I was going to say that the point on that Sangeeta was mentioning about recidivism among vegans, we don't know because we're too small in number. When they have done research on that, they lump vegetarians and vegans together, so we don't know. The second point is just that one thing I have observed over these many years is that vegans will be the first to uphold you if you're releasing a new product, especially something that's novel and unusual and unique. But they will be the first to attack you if there are any discrepancies or any issues. And I'm not saying that that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying it's something I've observed. And the last thing I was going to say is, my point of view is, if you are for eating this stuff or you are opposed to eating it and you are vegan, let's just let each other do what you do. I don't think that you need to promote KFC, but I do think that it's not time well spent to really gatekeep other vegans around it. So
I agree, Marla. And I think if we look at bigger picture, it's a good thing, right? It's a good thing that, a big company like KFC decided, hey, there's a demographic for this, and I think that the company is going to make money. Because if something that big thinks they're going to profit off of it, then that's good.
And can I just distinguish too, what it is not necessarily it is good that they're offering this product. I mean, that you can quibble about, but what is, to me, unquestionably good is that it is showing a viability for meatless products. That, to me, is hard to feel bad about.
Yeah.
So.
And for a company that has chicken in its name, you have to understand how big of a leap this is for them. This would have been even unthinkable for them just a couple years ago.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the vegans can now sue KFC and say that they can't call it chicken anymore,
And all these vegans have their timelines that they're posting about getting KFC and that they have this nugget and how good it tastes, and like they show pictures of it, and the crust is like what they remember. The coating is like what they remember when they had KFC. Every one of them has non-vegans in their timelines. What is this thing that these my friend, because they probably don't go this vegan friend, they might, but my friend has gotten from KFC, I'm just going to go try that because it looks good. So let me try it. And if it, and you know what? They're going to love it because if it has the same batter flavor as the chicken does, they're going to enjoy it. I'm talking about omnivores. I'm not talking about vegans. They're going to
Oil?
Are they
taste
going to
it.
convert? Are they going to convert to vegan because they tasted a nugget?
Probably
a
not.
non-vegan
But
nugget,
if they convert one meal,
a non-vegan nugget, they're everything else in the store, mashed potatoes, green beans, coleslaw. There's not another vegan thing on the menu, and that's not even vegan what they're selling. So that's not vegan.
See,
but it's still not killing an
stop
animal.
talking.
So that's the bonus. We gotta.
Right,
I mean,
right,
I
it's not
always
killing
like
the
to be
animals.
optimistic about it, right? It's just that one meal can make such a big difference. I mean, one day of just eating vegan saves an animal's life. It saves, 40 pounds of grain. It saves
Lots of
1,100 gallons of water. I mean, all of these things just from one day. It's the little tiny, and that's what I think bothers me about, these militant vegans is that they always
militant
seem to bash. I call them militant
vegans.
Yes,
Of course
vegans that are
militant.
very
Of course you would say militant.
well, they always think
Right.
that
I don't think
they
she's
can do better, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm not talking about you,
Really?
Dawn. I'm just talking about these vegans that seem to bash all the time or think they can do vegan better. And that's where I'm saying it's important to be compassionate because that is such a big part of our movement is being accepting and understanding and patient. Because that's part of the process is being all those things individually to get to that point. And I think that we need to be cognizant of what their journey is and, just be more helpful than judgy.
I have helped hundreds of vegans. I've converted hundreds of people to veganism in the communities that have been forgotten by a lot of privileged white vegans. I would say that very specifically here.
And I am still not talking about you.
There are so many people that ignore the death of Black people in food deserts and poor people in rural communities. They ignore them like they don't exist. But we're having a big old thing about KFC and their totally ridiculous thing that they're doing. It's not compassion when people in the neighborhoods are dying of heart disease and stroke. It's not saving a life. That's not going to convert any. If you have chicken nuggets, and I have African Americans in my community, they're going to eat it as a novelty and go on about their business. We need to revegetate. We need an agenda that stops people from eating animals permanently, not tasting it and then leaving. And it's not vegan. No,
I just would like to say that that one meal is what's exciting. Whether or not someone's vegan or whether the product is vegan, I mean, we can argue that all night. It seems like. I think what I'd like us to do is just all agree that even that one meal from somebody who maybe is an omnivore or flexitarian or whatever it is, that's a good thing because it is helping the planet and it is saving these natural resources that are so precious. And I think that is a positive. Even though I myself will not partake in it, I think that, a lot of us vegans can agree that it is a way forward in our movement and our mission. But that's all I have to say. And we're at an hour and 3 minutes. So Marla, would you like to say something before we wrap up?
I was just going to say, Dawn, I don't know if it's of interest to you at all, but, on our Instagram, on Vegan Street's Instagram, there were a lot of comments about the Beyond product. We weren't for it or against it. We were simply saying that, this thing exists and people are arguing about it. But I think a lot of the most positive comments, and I clicked on the profiles, were from people of color who live in what they consider food deserts because they're like, now I have it. So take that with a grain of salt or a grain of chicken fat in your vegan.
And
as always, thank you for joining the Vegan Stew where we stir the pot every week.
Oh my gosh, with vegan, oh gosh, Marla. It's and I Dawn,
don't take it with a grain of chicken fat.
Right. Dawn, you have been a big part of this conversation, and I hope that you don't feel like at all that you were attacked in this, and I feel like each one of us agrees with pieces of everything that you've said.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't feel attacked at all. I don't feel attacked
good.
at all. I'm as an African American, I'm used to having to stand up and fight in corners alone in rooms of people that don't look like me. This is normal to be Black in America. This is nothing. This is a walk in the park. I've been Black 54 years of my life. I've been called vegan more times than you can imagine. And I've been racially profiled and everything else. Trust me, this is the walk in the park.
Right.
For people of color.
I think we're all gonna spend time as being the one person on the outs, but I do totally get what you're saying, Dawn. I mean,
I think we all do, and I think we can all agree with a lot of what Dawn's saying. And it's a very sensitive subject for a lot of people. But I'm glad we had this conversation tonight, and I think our audience appreciated it too. It's been a very interesting topic, to say the least, in the last several days. Especially working for a vegan company, it's been very interesting with what do we do with it? Do we talk about it? Who's going to defend it? It's it's a very controversial subject.
When you put it on your social, it's hard when you put it. I don't even think I did. I don't believe that I posted it on our social, and that's
I didn't put it on my social either because I don't like to go vegan. It's like black on black crime. I don't like to do vegan on vegan crime on a social media post. The general public can see. The general public can see.
Thank you, Susan.
The general public can see.
Love you, Susan.
Let me see.
Love you too, Susan.
Susan's always so supportive of everybody.
Oh,
well, there we go.
There you go.
There's
you don't know what race has to do with
there's a whole other.
Thank you for coming to the Vegan Stew and joining us tonight.
What were you saying about it?
Monty, I feel like you need to tune in for another week because that's definitely going to be a topic.
Yeah, the intersectionality.
We will be putting that on our list.
On racism and veganism. That would be a great one because
that'll be that we definitely will touch on.
We should have Milton on as a guest.
Host in February.
And to our audience too, if you guys have topics you want us to talk about, please feel free to shoot them on social media or on our YouTube channel. We'd love to hear what you want us to talk about and put it on the agenda.
Oh, definitely. We have a long list of topics that we go over like monthly, and we at some point we'll need more.
Yes.
But we have a whole world.
Will we really with this group? Will we really?
I know.
I don't think so, especially with Dawn.
I don't think so.
I can only imagine all the stuff that makes you like, cringe.
Oh my gosh. I know. It was almost like
I have to say this. Dr. Mills just had an experience. Dr. Mills just had an experience with someone trying to book him and saying we don't want to talk about race because we're vegans. And this is a person who's very famous in the vegan movement. And he totally said, "I'm not doing the event. Are you kidding? Racism and veganism. What do you mean they're not?" Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Not you, Moni. Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
All right, ladies, let's wrap it up.
Wait,
say bye to everybody.
I know about what is this food? I know about desserts. What's the desert? Diet is very cultural, never cultural meats. Okay, we'll talk about that another time. All right, I'm gonna put everyone back into the room. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, Marla. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Sakita. All right. Well, thank you for joining us for another. Well, this was spicy and it was fiery and it was explosive and it was everything that I thought it was going to be and more. And that's what the Vegan Stew is about. We love to stir the pot and we love to, that high energy when you're cooking, it was a great discussion that will probably carry over. I don't know what we're going to talk about next week because we didn't talk about what we wanted to talk about this week. And it kind of fit with the vegan rebuttal. I guess we gave you our rebuttal to what's going on in the world with KFC and with AMC and like vegan nuggets and how they're cooked and all that. So we will be back next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join us on Facebook, on the Vegan Stew YouTube channel. Please subscribe and hit the notification button to know when we go live. We'd really appreciate that to help us grow and reach more people because as you can see, our conversations will help pretty much anyone on the vegan spectrum. So, the audio stops this time. Sorry, Moni. But virtualveterans.com, enter the contest, win some prize packs, support everything that all of us do. You see the little banner that's going on the bottom. It says everything about all of us. You can go and like and subscribe to all of those channels and Instagram and Facebook, wherever you do social media. That'd be fantastic. Thanks to Fabulous for sponsoring the Vegan Stew this month. And be kind, wear a mask, get vaccinated, get boosted, do what you can to do the right thing for those of us that we share the planet with. And like I said, wear your mask correctly, because it's there's a virus out there that's really contagious. And I want you all to be happy and healthy for this new year. So outside of that, have a great night. We'll see you next week. Bye.